has our next guest been to Blackpool? Bound to have been.
He's been everywhere else.
He has, because he's called the world's greatest living explorer by the Guinness Book of Records, and it is no wonder.
Ranulph Fiennes has led more than 30 expeditions and used them to raise millions of pounds for charity. Some of his achievements include being the first person to visit both the North Pole and the South Pole by land, as well as being the first person to cross Antarctica on foot, unsupported.
He has run, listen to this, 7 marathons in 7 continents in aid of the British Heart Foundation after having a heart attack and a heart bypass.
And he is the oldest Briton to climb Mount Everest, summiting in 2009 at the age of 65.
Now, to celebrate his 80th birthday, he's released a book. It's called Around the World in 80 Years. And Sir Ranulph Fiennes, obviously, joins us now on the sofa. Good morning.
Good to see you.
It's good to see you. Have you been to Blackpool?
Many, many times. And I've been swimming there on one occasion when following a book by Michael J. Fox saying about swimming and that if you get Parkies or anything like that, then Blackpool is a wonderful place because there's something in the sea, some protein, and it has an effect on your neuro. So go to Blackpool.
Another reason to go to Blackpool.
And it'll, in some amazing way, help you.
So you've talked about the fact that you were diagnosed with Parkinson's a few years ago. Did it help, the waters of Blackpool?
It sort of does. I mean, I spent my life trying to keep warm.
Yes.
Not to get cold.
Yes.
So it's the opposite side of the coin. But, yeah, Michael J. Fox had it when he was 29 years old. You know, and I probably got it when I went well into my 70s, so no problem. And the memory was going anyway. And yeah, but Blackpool, as far as I'm concerned, is a chance of getting rid of that and therefore not tripping over.
I think it's interesting when you say I got it when I was in my 70s, so no problem. You are remarkably resilient and always have been. How are you doing health-wise? All OK, under control?
Yeah, a little bit of deafness, for instance. And as many people will know, the wife will tell you, stop saying what? And the reply is, stop mumbling, wife.
Oh. You say you've spent your life avoiding or trying not to get too cold, but actually your career has been in sometimes the bleakest, most isolated, coldest parts of the earth. And that's one of the things that you talk about in this new book, isn't it? That resilience to go a little further, to keep going, not to stop, to never give up.
And choose the people that you're going to go with very, very carefully. And if you've got only one other person or 2 other people, that's the best number. Less legs to be broken. And if you have one poor person extra who needs an ambidextrous, you know, then just one is enough to ruin the entire expedition. And if you choose someone very, very carefully, and on one expedition we had 820 applicants for 2 positions. We only wanted 2 people, and my wife and I had to choose between these guys. So the first thing you do is to make all of them apply to join the Special Air Service Territorials. And that got rid of 80% in 2 days.
I imagine.
Then you start looking, and you're looking for people with a faith. It doesn't have to be a religious faith, but something which will stop this weak voice when you're really suffering. You're getting horrible frostnip and all the rest of it. You're getting crutch rot. All this sort of thing is happening, and you're saying another 90 days of this sort of thing, and we're running out of food. And you begin to say, I want to give up, I want to give up. But I don't want to be the first to give up. So in the evening, you're sort of looking at the watch and saying, oh dear, and you're looking around the tent hoping that one of the others has broken his leg. Then you won't be the first to give up.
It's interesting, because I would have thought it would be better to have as big a team as possible and as many different faces around you as possible. But I think, do you think essentially you are a loner, ideally?
Almost, but I wouldn't do solo for the simple fact that if a crevasse, okay, you go down into a crevasse, no one to pull you out. It's a horrible death. I've spoken to a person who spent a day and a half stuck down one before his mates calling his voice out, heard his voice coming up from 200 foot where he'd fallen down, and he was just listening to the experience of dying in a crevasse. Solo is definitely out. The only reason I've done one solo expedition is because that particular record had been done by 2 Norwegians.
So for practical reasons, life-saving reasons, you would have to have somebody with you. But you're perfectly OK on your own emotionally, are you? Spiritually, if you have to be.
Well, you are, except that there's nobody to hate.
Does that help a little bit, maybe?
Having someone to hate?
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
That's
Go
what
on.
Sally finds that as well.
No, both ways, the hatred. And as soon as you get in the tent and things start feeling better, then you start liking the bloke again. No. And I've been very, very lucky in that my main travel companions over 62 years of doing it. And I have learnt that, yes, having few people is much better than having a great number of people. And when you want to sack them, I mean, like in Antarctica, you can sack them, but you can't get rid of them.
What do you do then? What do you do?
Well, you have to put up with them, sort of thing. And that teaches you next time, don't choose so many people. Keep the numbers right down.
A very important year for you. Obviously, you're talking about 80 years as an adventurer. And we do have something, I think, to show you right now. If you just bear with us for a moment. This is our floor manager, Fran, who's bringing in a special birthday cake that has been baked by our very own Abby Smitten here on Breakfast. Can we see that?
Look
there you
at
go.
that.
Says happy birthday.
Base camp.
Sir Ranulph.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Do you know, I'm going to turn
you.
it round to the camera as well so people can see
the base camp.
The full labelling, base camp.
Base
Does
camp,
that mean
there you go.
we start at the bottom of the cake and make our way up, I think, don't you?
And, of course, the sugar content.
Yes.
Is that
Keep
good,
us going.
though?
Bit
Yeah.
of sustenance.
No, well, my wife is very, very keen on making sure I keep well clear of too much
All right,
sugar.
OK. Well, thank you very much indeed. We'll have the cake.
Now, speaking of adventures, have you ever been surfing?
Had I ever been?
Surfing.
No.
You have.
When I see surfing on those big waves and so on, it scares me stiff.
Well, look, this is Gloucestershire. This is the River Severn right now. These are live pictures coming in from our satellite truck because today is the Severn Bore. You know, when that great tidal wave comes down the Severn.
I've heard that is really quite exciting to begin surfing on the River Severn. Have you done that?
I haven't. I was going to ask whether you'd like to do that for your 81st year. Maybe this is a new challenge you'd like to do. I'm not going to make you do it, but...
I'd have a look at it. It would depend on the sponsorship.
Oh, yes, always.
At the moment, we're looking for the Marie Curie, but we've had lots of different... We're up to £19 million for UK charities from the expeditions.
Incredible.
But it goes back to the patron, Prince Charles, a long time ago, saying, who are we going to be raising money for on the next expedition? And I said, excuse me, sir, but our expeditions are not about raising money for charity. They're about beating the Norwegians.
Of course.
And he said, oh, dear, if I'd known that, I wouldn't have been patron of your expeditions. And so that's when we started. And that one comment by him, nearly £20 million.
Wow.
What a start. So, Ranulph Fiennes, thank you so much for coming in. Lovely to see you. Happy 80th again. Remarkable, remarkable career. Is your wife here?
Not in the building, no.
OK, well, we can have some cake then. That's fine. Thank you very much indeed.
Cheers,
Lovely to
thanks
see
a
you.
lot.